Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch. If you are new to my channel, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining me and hitting, pressing play and checking it out. I hope you like what you see. Hit like, subscribe, leave me comments. I love it. I love it all. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me each week or week to week or whenever you get a chance to. You'll notice if you are a returner, I am with a blank wall behind me this week. I'm down in Delaware. I've had a fantastic week so far in Delaware. And so filming is a little bit different this week. I have no furniture back there, so, it is the way it is. But I do have some furniture adventures to talk about, so I'll talk about that all in life if you're interested in hearing all about it. This week I think it was my week of smalls, frankly. I don't know if it's because I don't have a stitching really set up down here. We've been, without furniture, we've been existing with stadium chairs. So I think smalls have just been easier to work on. I brought my full coverage piece. I haven't touched it. It's still exactly where I dropped it when I got here on Sunday. But I had grand illusions, and I think I just went with smalls. So you're gonna see a lot of smalls. But I think it'll be, if you're busy and getting ready to either watch some more Flosstubes or get out if it's nice wherever you are this weekend, this one I think will be a quick one. We'll see. Sometimes I say that and the next thing you know, I've rambled for ages. I'm sitting, this setup's different, and I'm sitting on a couple of folders and stuff, so I feel like I'm a kid in a booster. I have to stand up, sit up straight, so this way I'll be a little bit more in the screen. We're just winging it. Okay, so let's talk about my Flosstube friend this week. Each week I try to talk about somebody that watches my channel and has a Flosstube of their own, so I like to talk about them and so on. And this week I want to talk about Paula from Stitching in High Heels. Hi, Paula. Paula has a new video out. Was it yesterday or the day? A couple days ago. I am woefully behind on my Flosstube watching, and when I get to the giveaway question, you'll know why. But so she's on my list of people to watch, but I haven't watched her latest video yet. Paula has a huge range of different projects, from stuff that's similar to what I stitch to more samplery type of stuff, which I love to watch, but I wouldn't stitch. She stitches on all types of fabrics, from linens to the aidas and everything in between. And she just has some fabulous, fabulous pieces and choices. And she's extremely experienced with stitching because she's been stitching for quite some time. So she's got some beautiful pieces. If you'd like to check Paula out, I will link her down below so that you can see some of her fun stitches that she's been doing as well. And I cannot wait to catch up with her. And I can't wait to see the video because I don't know if she started Cinnamon Stars yet, because we're supposed to stitch Cinnamon Stars together. So hopefully when I get a chance to see, I might see it. So that's my Flosstube friend this week, if you'd like to watch Paula's stitching. Okay, so what do I have? I have no finishes whatsoever, even though they're all smalls. I found this week, and ironically, I have a ton of time to stitch, but I found myself kind of just stepping back and doing some stitching. Each day I did a little bit, but I didn't do a lot of stitching. I went for walks around the neighborhood and just kind of chilling. We went furniture shopping. Mo was working a few days, so I had the time in some cases, but I just found myself doing some other stuff and just relaxing. So you will see some stitching, but it's not a huge amount of stitching. I think I have, so I know I don't have any finishes, and obviously fully finishes I wouldn't have because I don't have any of my stuff down here. When I get back to Connecticut, I'm hoping I can do that multiple part kind of how I finish with mat board and tape filming. Once I have everything down there and I can actually, or up there, go back up to Connecticut. Once I have all that and I can kind of do the pieces, then I'll be able to. I thought briefly about bringing that down here, but it would have been a lot. It really would have. So it wasn't worth basically schlepping it all down here just to bring it all back up again. So that's coming. Just don't have stuff here. I don't even really have, except for where we eat, I don't really even have a table that I could have done it on. So it's just easier that I wait and do that afterwards. So I have 4 pieces that are currently in progress and 2 new starts though. So there is some stitching you'll see. Before I get to that, I just wanted to show you, like some other Flosstubers, I was contacted by the BenQ company and regarding their lighting, and I wanted to show it to you. So if I show it to you in total, there's a base, the arm that comes out, and then the head. And I'll just put it right here for now. And they asked if I would try it out and see what I thought and then give an honest review. I have to say I really do enjoy it. There are pros and cons like any other product that you will find. And I spent time really kind of using it. I brought it down to Delaware. I used it in different rooms up in Connecticut. Mo actually used it for work, so I will also address that as well. So you've got multiple things that can move. The arm can move from the base, and then you have the second arm that can go up and down from here, and then you can adjust the head depending on where you want the light to go. And the light, you know, with the head going this way, the light flares out in both directions as well as just straight below you, depending on what you want to do. Now, it's recommended, I've stopped following some of the rules, but it's recommended for, like, for example, reading, and I kind of count stitching as that you have it, if I move it back this way so I can do this, that you have it about, okay, you keep this even, so you're not looking in it, and you have it about eye height. And then if you turn it on, you can stitch, and you can see right here. The thing was, depending on where and how I'm sitting, if I'm watching Flosstube or something or else, that doesn't always work. So I finagled things. Sometimes I'd have it more to the side and then I just angle down. Sometimes I would move it higher up, or it would go farther or closer, and then I would just finagle things and so on and so forth. So I think in once I even had it behind me type of thing. So you can play around with it. It's really kind of neat in that sense. And let me see. So here is basically shutting it on and off. Then it talks about screen versus book. I love more of that blue cool light as opposed to the warm light. So if I was to turn it on, there's 2 different types of auto dimming. Let's see if I can do this. If I hold it, I can't see if it's turned color. Let's see. If I hold this, whoops. I keep hitting it in the wrong way. Hold it for 2 seconds. Okay, so this would be for a screen kind of look, and you'll see it's a little bit cooler. And with the auto dimming, what happens is, depending on the light in the room, and there you go. Oh no, actually that other one is yellower. This one is a little bit cooler. Depending on the lighting in the room, it will auto dim or brighten depending. So let's put that back. Or actually, let's do that. And then here, this little button here can change the brightness manually if you don't want to auto, and it shuts off the auto dim when you do that. And then if I hit this, let's see if I can get it to do it. I had all of this working this morning, and then there we go. When I hit it, I can also, the second time, I can change it to more of book reading or more of screen. So that's how it works with that. I really like it. I have found with pieces that if the light's not great and I turn this on, it's a whole new world for me. I can see exactly what I'm stitching. And I happen to use, I don't use a lot of the different changes. I like the one color. And like I said, I don't always keep it eye height. You know, you're supposed to, if you have it eye height, and then you can have it equal so you're not looking into the light. Sometimes I have it above my head and I just shine it down so I'm not looking into light. Or sometimes I've had it behind me even. I messed around with it a lot in different places. And because the different things move, that works. Mo really enjoyed it for work. So what he did was he has 2 laptops, but he put it in front of his main laptop for work. And he put the screen head right at the top of the laptop screen. And then it lit everything up screen-wise, as well as all of his workspace here to see what he was writing. So he did spend several days, multiple days with it, and he really enjoyed it. I'm just gonna, actually I wanna show you one thing. So for those of you who may spend a lot of time on a screen, he found it quite useful. Now, all that's awesome, awesome stuff. Obviously, there are a couple of cons, like with anything. It is expensive. It is not a cheap product. It is sold on Amazon, and so there really are no sales unless you can find an Amazon seller. But I think it's just the company uses Amazon. So you will not find it on sale, and you usually will not find it with discounts. So you have to be willing to put the money in. And depending on what your workstation is, it might be a good investment for you. The other thing is, it's not a travel light. Obviously, I brought it back and forth with me. It is, it's got that nice base. It's heavy. It is very heavy. So you're not gonna just transport it from place to place. That obviously works in your favor, the heaviness, if depending on how you're putting the light and how you're angling it, the base is heavy that it's not gonna tip on me. So there's the pro of that. But if you're looking to travel with it or carry it around, it is not the light that would work for you in that sense. And it is something that you plug in as opposed to something that just has a rechargeable battery or anything. Overall, I really like it. And with what it does, if it's something you're looking for, I would check it out. I'll link it down below. I'll link down their Amazon and all their sites. And Amazon, you can read other reviews and see what other people think about it as well, if it's something you wanted to think about. So I will link all that, and you can decide whether or not it's something that might work for you. But anyway, let's move it over. So now we get it out of the picture. But I wanted to say thank you to BenQ for giving me the chance to give it a try. It certainly saved my eyes with a lot of the different patterns for what I stitch and what I see. So there you go. All right, let's talk about some of the works in progress that I have. I have the 4 that I talked about, and it's all smalls. The first one is Country Cottage Needleworks, Seaside Cottage. Thought it might be appropriate. I mean, we're not seaside. We're about 10 minutes from the beach, but close enough. And here we go. So this is stitched on an 18 count natural blue topaz from To Die For fabrics. I really like this color. This is fast becoming one of my favorite colors of blues. And I love how the white shows up. So that would show up really great for winter pieces. You can see I pretty much concentrated on white. So you've got not complete seagulls, the start of the sailboat sails, and then I got a little tired and I started to do some of the color down there with the base. So little bits, a couple little pockets of time with this. Yesterday I did a little bit. I stitched really not much at all yesterday, I have to say. And I was absolutely fine with that, I have to say. I don't feel guilty in the least. I took time to do what I needed to do this week, and I liked it. The older I get, the more I'm like, that's it. It's my time for me, and I'm gonna do what I want. I wanted to mention with To Die For fabrics, and I don't know if she's gonna keep this. I looked on the site this June, and she's got an Etsy store, and I always link her. I love her fabric. I think she's gotten a little overwhelmed, and if you click on it, you'll see there's not as many fabrics normally as she would have offered. Go to the announcements in the description, click more, because it's a long section, and she's experimenting, is the best way I can do it, with offering brights or lights. I think it's lights 1 month, darks a different month, so on and so forth. I don't know if there's a color you really like. Could you custom request it that month? I'm not sure, and I'm not sure if she's keeping it this way. I think she's just trying, because I think she's finding that she's getting so many orders in that she can't keep the shorter turnaround time that she would like to. And obviously there's been supply issues at times as well. So I don't know if this is currently available, but it is, long and the short of it, is a great blue. I really, really like it. I did see from Brandy at Bestitchme, she is going to be offering, I don't know if she's calling it like an ocean line, but a line of several different blues. And I don't know if they're uploaded to her website yet. I saw them on social media, I believe. Maybe Instagram, I don't remember. And they're coming. So that might also be an option. I'm curious to see what shades of blue she will be offering, because you know me and blue. I love my blue. So if you like this color and you can't get it from Kimberly, depending on how she's operating, Brandy at Bestitchme might be an option. We'll see. We'll see what she offers. But that's it so far. And if you are new, I had mentioned I'm not stitching the top and the bottom flowers on this one. I'm just gonna do the center part. I love those flowers. They might see an appearance later on, but not in this piece. Now, this was my car. I had grand plans for car stitching. Didn't really work out the way I wanted to, but my plan was to stitch Caydo Lantern from Misty Pursel. And that is in the Just Cross Stitch 2020 Halloween issue. That's what it looks like. So I had grand plans I didn't start the driving, Mo did. I'm like, great, this is a good small, I'll work on the border, no problems. I did get some done, not in the car. So I extended the border all the way down here, and I almost got this, I don't know if you want to make it the sun and the moon or the element right there. Almost got it done. We took Shamrock down with us, and because we've decided that he really doesn't do well being away from me for an extended period of time, and we knew we'd be away for a week. So we brought his bed and we put it in the second row. We have a minivan, and we have the second row. So we put his bed there, put his little seatbelt harness on, and put him in there. And we figured this first time we'd have somebody sit in the back with him. So, you know, because he's not a great car. He's awful. He loves the idea of a car ride, loves it the second you say it. The second you get in the car, though, then he just doesn't like it so much. So we figured, okay, somebody will sit there, keep him company. So I was the one on duty first. So I figured, okay, I'll go and I'll sit with him. He would climb over to me, and then he would climb back to the bed. And then he kept going for the first good hour and a half. He was definitely not calm in any way, shape, or form. So I'd try to put a stitch in, and then he'd be over, and so on and so forth. And I'd cuddle with him and everything else. Then we get to our first rest stop, and I realized too, that middle seat in the van is not super comfortable. It's kind of like, I feel bad for all my passengers because I want my seat up front. So I said to Mo, you know what? Let's switch. I'll drive. You sit in back with him. And I ended up driving the rest of the way to Delaware. So needless to say, my car stitching didn't really happen. But this day, then when we got here and we put stuff away and we kind of chilled, later on in the afternoon, early evening, I pulled this one out and I was able to get that much done. And I'm hoping now that Shamrock realizes that he's not going to the vet, he's not going to the groomer, so hopefully he'll settle down. When Mo was back there with him, he was chilling in the bed, sleeping, not doing much of anything. I was like, sure, when I'm not there, you're nice and calm. So hopefully on the car ride back, he will maybe settle faster and not be so antsy, and we'll see if I get any stitching done. All right, 2 more. Next one is Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Moo from Vintage Needlearts. And this is part of a series. This is number 2 in a series. And here we go. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, 18 count vanilla latte from Bestitchme. A great, great color. A great neutral. I think it'll go with most any patterns, a lot of patterns. I shouldn't say most any. I mean, depending on what you want for a feel and a vibe. But it is a great color. Okay, back to Eeny, Meeny. So this one is on 18 count Nantucket Sky by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I did this one deliberately, first off, because the first in the series was stitched on this. But 2, I kind of wanted it to look like the cow was outside. I'm not stitching this top part here. I don't really feel I need to, because to me it's kind of like a sky where the whole piece is a sky. And now he's got a tail and more of his little bottom area done. That was the extent. So it's funny, I was thinking, I stitched a cat and a cow. So we could be talking about stitching, or we could be talking about yoga. Cat cow is one of my favorite, just reset type of moves to do. Well, yeah, last night I was doing a video. I do a lot of YouTube yoga, and I have my favorites. And she was doing tipsy frog, which I thought was great. So I had cat cow, and then I did some tipsy frog yoga otherwise. Anyway, this is done in all DMC, and it's a cute little pattern, easy to stitch. Right now I'm still doing the brown and the white. I haven't even gotten to the flowers yet, which are different colors of yellow in them. So it'll be fun to add flowers in. But I think I'd like to get the cow done first, and then I'll work from there. All right, one more that you've seen before that I am continuing with, and it is Silver Creek Samplers Taking It Easy, EC, so E-SEA. That's what it looks like. Elaine did get back to me for her color. She changed the dress to a purple. If anybody is interested, just reach out to me and I will let you know. She also did leave it in the comments from last week's video if you were interested. I'm super excited to change it to the yellow, the purple, because her finished piece looked so nice with it. And I am not doing this kind of fabric. I went with a little bit different kind of feeling, and I went with this. And this is called Serene. It's an 18 count, and it's from Picture This Plus. And it's a floppy Picture This Plus like they generally are, but it's a little bit tighter in its weave than some of the other ones I've used. So far, I haven't had much problem because I do stitch in hand. So sometimes Picture This Plus can be challenging. And I just worked on the letters. Silver Creek has some really fun, I love how she does her letters and her words. So we just did a lot of word stitching. I did realize when I was lining, because I line up things as I go along with the border, I made a mistake. This very last one, I stitched too many. And I looked and I looked and I thought, and I said, can I finagle it somehow? I don't think I'm going to be able to. I think I'm going to have to take out that stitch, because the way this looks, there's not a great way. I was tried different thoughts. There's not a great way for me to fudge it without it looking a little bit, off. So it's at the very end. It's not like it's completely here. So I really would only have to take out, this stitch plus a few more so I can end that thread and then just jump at it. I just didn't feel like doing it this week. I just wanted to stitch, not unstitch. So that's what we have. This is such a pretty color. I am really, really happy with it. And I just find it so calming. I really enjoy stitching on it. And I have extra, so that's great. I'll be able to find some more stuff I want to do on that. Those are the pieces that you've seen already. And then I started 2 new pieces this week, just because I felt like starting. And I like the fact that now I have quite a few to choose from, depending on what I'm in the mood to stitch and what I want to stitch. I can just look through all my stuff. I have it in a bag, and I just look through the different pieces and I'll pull something out. This first one, I really wanted to start when I figured out in June, I wanted to do kind of like a beachy or summer theme. This is summer, because this one came from a stitchy friend, and so it meant a lot. Plum Street Samplers, Summer in Nantucket, so fun. And this Bree from Bree's Stitching Stuff, Bree, she has not made videos in quite some time. She has great videos though, if you wanted to go back and see some of her older ones. And she does once in a while post her stitching on Instagram if you wanted to see some lovely stitching. But Bree sent this to my birthday last October, along with that beautiful bag that she made me. And so I knew I wanted to stitch this, given that it came from a stitchy friend. And I just love the whales. I am, speaking of which, so this whale is more of a bluish gray, whatever. This one is more of the ecru that's here. I want to change that. It probably won't be the same color as this one, but maybe like a lightish blue. I want to do it where you can see him a bit more. On my fabric, you may not be able to see the ecru as well on screen. It's one of those on screen in person kind of things. Let's see what happens. This is what I have so far. Yeah, you're not gonna see it as much. This is done on 18 count Summer Storm from To Dye for Fabrics. And really, the other colors that are chosen, they're the Plum Street colors. You see them in a lot of patterns. They look good, really good on this. The ecru obviously is a little bit more subtle, which is fine. This is a wispy cloud. That's supposed to be like the little, you know, widow's walk type of thing. But for the whale, I did want him to show up a little bit more. So when I get to it, I'll change that. I don't know what I'm changing it to yet, but I'll just look at a bunch of blues and see what I want to do. And if I love the color of this one, then maybe he'll be that color too. We'll see. Maybe we'll combine a couple DMCs. That's always fun to do too. So I don't have a ton, but this actually stitched up. This is just a session of stitching, and this all stitched up pretty fast and everything else. So I think this one, there are a couple houses, but they're clearly not huge. I mean, I'm almost done with the roof right there. So, and the house comes down even here. So it's not like it's a gigantic house to stitch. So I think of Brie when I stitch on this one, and it makes me smile. So that's the first one. And then the second one, for different reasons, when I don't know when I picked this one up, but when I did, I knew I wanted to stitch it because it holds a lot of memories for me. This is by the Bay Needleart, the Nubble. So for any of you who've been to Maine, Nubble Lighthouse, Southern Maine, we, for years and years and years, had taken, when the kids were little, the kids to Ogunquit. We very often rented the same, it was like a duplex. So it was great because it had the kitchen and you know, everything else. So it was a kind of like a house rather than hotel, which is great because you could do all your own cooking, go out a couple nights if you wanted to, but really just eat in as much as you wanted. And it was about a quarter mile right down the road and turn to one of the beaches in Ogunquit, Footbridge Beach, I think it's called. And the kids, the little beach there, the kids, I'll forever have memories of them crabbing on the beach and throwing the little thing down and picking up the crabs and putting them in the bucket, and then they bring the bucket down and they put the crabs all back in the water when they're done. So we have so many memories. With Nubble, we would take the trip out, we would take the trip to, I believe it's York, and you can see the lighthouse from the distance, and then over here, you're across the water, you have the benches and whatever, but then you have all these rocks, and the kids loved climbing on the rocks. That was one of their most favorite things. Scared me half the time because, you know, they're sharp and they're this and that. I mean, it's rocks by an ocean. But my guess is it's something that will be something they remember always with it. And so I knew when I saw this that I wanted to stitch this. I have tons and tons of pictures of this because I would bring my camera, and I always enjoyed taking, every year I'd have the same picture of the Nubble Lighthouse, but I still took it. I couldn't help myself. And I kept this with just white aida. This is the Caydo, C-A-Y-D-O aida. And I enjoy it. It's okay, it's a little stiff, but it's not the stiff white aida. And this is how much I've gotten. You know, the signature red for the roof, and then these are gonna be, you know, shades, different shades for clouds, and we'll work our way down there. I do have a little long back stitching that I'll have to fool around with the fence, but that's down the road. I don't know, let me see on my iPad for just quick giggles if I have, sometimes what we used to do was we would, if things went on Dropbox, my daughter liked to put things on Dropbox, and then it would end up on my iPad somehow or other. And let's see if we have any from the lighthouse, really quick. Actually, well, you can see the rocks behind them. This was, I mean, a bunch of years ago, but there they are on the rocks. So that was 2019 we went. No, 2018. 2018 was our last time going to, yeah, that's the only one by the lighthouse on the rocks. But so much fun, really fun. Perkins Cove, Ogunquit, Nubble Light, just the memories. I can't even tell you how many memories I have. Really enjoyed our years of going there. So if you ever get a chance, I totally suggest it. It's one of the most fantastic memories and vacations we ever experienced, and there was a reason why we kept going back, why we really liked it. So that is all of my stitching and plans. I'm continuing the summer. I don't know if I certainly won't have a start before I get back to Connecticut because I didn't bring down any more new pieces. It's not like I don't have a ton to stitch on. I have plenty to keep me busy. If I have a start, it would only be one more start, I think. There's the Owl Forest that I think the fabric that I want to use will work. So I might do that one. I'm not sure. There are other charts that I have that I said as a maybe start. And of course, there's the punch needle primitive stitcher that there's a whole bunch in there, but I have a lot of starts now. So I have to decide if I want to start anything else or just continue stitching on some of the stuff I've been stitching. And then we're looking towards July. So originally I was gung-ho, Christmas in July, yeah, all for it. And I'm still gonna do some Christmas in July. I do wanna stitch this year's Prairie Schooler Santa. I do have it. And I'll probably stitch it in the same fabric that I did stitch last year's on. And then I only have one piece of shopping, and that leads into Christmas stitching. So I'll show you that in a minute because it's a digital pattern. But I don't want to do just Christmas. I've decided, because at one point I thought, okay, I'll bring back Christmas stuff and I'll do new Christmas stuff and it'll be just an all Christmas July. I don't want to do that. I am really enjoying the things I've started, this year. The pieces I've started that are not complete, I really like them. So I do not want to pigeonhole myself to just Christmas this July. It could be anything, is what I will have at least 2 Christmas starts, I think. Maybe more if there's a pattern that I absolutely want to start. But I am going to continue with my spring, my flowers, my summer, maybe even a Halloween if I feel like it. So I think this July you will see an eclectic bunch of stitching and not just Christmas, but there are a few Christmas pieces. And of course, somebody comes out with something that I absolutely adore and then have to start it because, it's so cute. So we'll see. Not a huge amount of plans, just a couple potential. And that leads me to the one piece of shopping. I saw this, I don't remember how or where I saw it, but I saw it ages ago, and it's a full coverage. It's a full coverage. I know, I've got one started already, but this is a Christmas one, so it's completely different. I thought this was cute, and I don't know what's it called. It's called Christmas Tales. Look at that. So it's, the bookshelf and all the different Christmas things. There's an elf on the shelf, which, not to tell you some stories we did for years, we did that with the kids. There's the Grinch. I've watched the Grinch since I was a kid. There's kind of like a Dickens kind of carriage over here. And the Christmas village that I do, when I do put up, is a Dickens village. So that's got memories. And of course there's Santa and reindeer and all sorts of other stuff. So I thought this was really cute. It is, I think it's what does it say? It's a 320 by 230. So it's not as huge as a lot of the Heaven and Earth. It's big, and obviously it's full coverage. But I said, you know what? I like this one. And this is from a site called theeasystitch.com. And I'll link them when I show under the shopping section of my description box below. I list everything. So I thought that was cute. So has anybody stitched this? Have they stitched anything from this site? There's about 5 or 6 pages of some patterns on this site. There's some cute, like London and Paris, I think, sort of pops of color with the more, I don't know if it's black and white or gray, the neutral. They're really kind of cool, which would be fun, but I can only do so many ones. So if you've ever stitched this or you're stitching it, you've started it, let me know, send me pictures, tell me what you think. But that will be a start in July along with the Prairie Schooler 2021 Santa. Those are 2 definites. From there, we're just winging it. Who knows? That's it for shopping. And I don't think, ironically, if I was back in Connecticut, I don't think anything came. You don't want to hear about my cocoa nibs. I think that was the only thing that came in the mail, and then something from O. So I wouldn't have had any shopping to show you anyway, even if I was in Connecticut. It'll probably all come this weekend, maybe. I think I have two things coming. So next week you'll see at least one of them. Okay, let's talk giveaways. I am completely caught up. I've heard from everybody with giveaways up to picking this week's current winner. So yay. I haven't shipped obviously because all of my shipping stuff is up in Connecticut, but when I get home, I will package and all that fun stuff and get them out to you. Because I send them as packages, so there is tracking. I know that they get safely where they need to go, or if I need to nudge them if they get stuck, and that way it keeps your stuff safer. And it's just the way I do it. It's easier for me, and I print off the labels, so it's easier. The post office can just scan a barcode. So sometimes I hope that gets to you faster too. So that's all up there. So that will get shipped this week. Here we go. There are 6 sets of, or not sets, but there are 6 pieces of different yellow trim that will be much neater if you are the winner. So we had the twill, we have the rickrack, we have kind of a chevron, we have the burlap twine, we have some pom-pom, and then kind of an ombre. They will all be packaged nicely separately so nothing gets stuck together and everything else, and it'll get to you safely, hopefully, unless the post office is it. I only once, knock on wood, because I'm really afraid it might happen again, had a package where there was a slit in it and it arrived to the person. It was an order with nothing in it. So I've only had to, that luckily, and which is good because some of these giveaways I wouldn't have another one. So I try to tape the sides. Probably go a little crazy sometimes taping. Sorry for those of you who have to open those. All right, so this week's winner is Sarah C. So Sarah, if you could get back to me with your address, either send me an email to the Gmail account, or you can Instagram me, DM me on Instagram, and I will get that out to you. All right, this week, this one's a little guy. I was traveling and I was like, I grabbed this because I have a little pile of things. It becomes big or little depending on if I need to go shopping. So I grabbed this. I said, I'm traveling, so I'll just grab a nice little chart. This one is from Summer House Stitchworks, and it's #1, Tales from the Sea of the Fragments in Time. So it's super cute. I myself had this. Another piece I want to stitch. Oh, I don't want to, the pattern is on the flip side, so I got to be careful about looking at it. Super, super cute. It is got Weeks Dye Works and DMC. And one, what would CC be? Classic Colorworks? Yeah, probably. But super, super cute. I myself, like I said, want to stitch this. If you would like this, 2 things. Somewhere in your comment, make sure you say the word whale, since we have the whale tail. Okay? That's always my cue that you would like to be entered into the giveaway. Then I always ask a question. The question is for everybody. If you don't want to be entered in the giveaway, just don't say the word whale. And because I search for that word, grab all the names that say it, that have answered the question, and that's how I choose my names. So just don't say the word whale and you'll be fine. But my question this week is, what was the last TV show that you binge watched? Now, this is why I'm behind on Flosstube, because I'm a Hallmark girl. I love my Hallmark movies and mysteries and all that. Christmas time, love it all. So I don't know what it must have been, I think it was over Memorial Day weekend. They were doing a marathon of Chesapeake Shores, which I had never watched before. I don't know why. I watched the first one, I was hooked, and I think there's 3.5 seasons. I don't know if season 4 was taped before the world closed up, and so they only have like half episode. They only have not as many episodes as the first 3 seasons, but they are coming back in August. But I had to then I had all of them taped, and so I've been watching episodes of Chesapeake Shores and all of that. So I've been binge watching that. So I want to know, because once I run out of that, if there's something else that you would recommend. What was the last TV show you binge watched? And, okay, it's not TV shows, but YouTube, Flosstubes. Is there a Flosstube, somebody you've just discovered that you totally binge watched? Because there's so many great people out there, and obviously I watch the ones that I've subscribed to and do that. But there are, of course, so many people that I don't even know about. So is there somebody that you've just discovered? Because it's not your traditional TV show, but it's on a screen. So I'll take that too. If there is a Flosstube or any type of YouTube channel that you've binge watched. Everybody can tell me that. And if you want to be entered into the giveaway, just make sure the word whale. As usual, please be 18 so that you can give me your address, 18 or over. Please don't say giveaway or free. And I would love it if you'd be a subscriber. I'm getting close. I looked at my subscriber count. I'm almost at 1,900, which means I'm almost at 2,000. I can't believe that. It's amazing to me. But anyway, please, I would love it if you'd be a subscriber. I'm taking your word for it. It is on the honor system, but I'd appreciate it. Okay, that is everything stitchy. So if you want to head out, look at 41 minutes. It wasn't as short as I thought it would be. If you want to head out, then I will talk to you next week when I hopefully have some more stitching stuff to show you, and maybe not just all smalls. All right, life stuff, not a ton, because we've been chilling this week, so, not a lot. So like I said, we headed down to Delaware on Sunday. We took Shamrock, which again was an adventure. I think it took me longer to pack all of Shamrock stuff than it did my stuff. I just threw a bunch of clothes in a bag. Whereas him, I'm like, I need this, I need this, I need this. And because he's such a bad traveler, we've tried a couple different things for him, for the car. I don't know why, if he's just anxious because he doesn't want to go where he thinks he's going. I don't think he gets car sick because he never gets sick. I don't know exactly what it is, but we have a really lovely independent sort of dog, cat, pet sort of store. And that's where I get his food because he needs special food because of his tummy. But I asked her about stuff I could give, and she gave us a couple of natural options to try with him. I don't know if they worked or not, but that had to be worked into the plan. I swear planning for the dog was like planning for an infant. So we'll try that again on the way back, but I think this time we'll give it to him sooner because I think some of this stuff takes a while. And if we gave it to him right before we left, so I don't know how much that helped. Maybe that mellowed him for the second half of the ride. I remember my mom had a little Cairn Terrier back, obviously years and years and years ago, 30 years, I don't even know how many years. And Chelsea was the dog's name, and she hated thunderstorms, hated them. And so the vet had given my mom, tranquilizers or whatever. Well, you wouldn't give the dog, you wouldn't necessarily know the storm was coming. So as soon as it started and she'd go nuts, my mom would give Chelsea the pill. Well, by the time the pill took effect, the storm was over. So hopefully we can figure out the timing and he can chill for his trip on the way back when we go back up this weekend. Other than that, so when we came down here, we still don't have, we have beds. We had beds, and we have a kitchen, and we have a table that we had brought from Connecticut that was a leftover thing. But we have nothing in the living room, nothing in the sunroom. So we went furniture shopping, and there was a store that Mo's cousin, who lives down here, recommended. And what's good about it is that store happens to let you buy what's on the showroom floor. Or sometimes they have extra of stuff. So if they have it in the warehouse, they'll give you that one, keep the showroom, or you can buy it right off the floor. Because apparently there is a shortage of something. I don't know if it's just wood, but furniture, if you order it, will take 10 to 12 months. So if I wanted to go a whole year waiting for a couch, I could order it, but that really wouldn't help me. So we weren't sure what to expect, but we figured, okay, let's go. Let's see what we can find. And we did pretty good. We found a kind of love seat and some chairs for the screen porch because, they didn't have a ton of the all-weather outdoor stuff, but as soon as we saw this, Mo loved it. and it grew on me. And now that I'm looking at it right at the screen porch is right here. I'm looking at it out there, and I think it goes really well. They didn't have a table or anything, so we'll have to get that later on, but at least now we have a place to sit out there without bringing out a stadium chair. We'd carried our stadium chairs to all the different parts of the house if we wanted to sit somewhere before this. So that's all set. And that, whether we ordered it or just got it that day, you know, we didn't get it that day, but we got it. We went on Monday and they were able to deliver yesterday, Thursday. So that's awesome. That we probably would have chosen regardless. Then we were able to find a couch and a couple of chairs for the living room area. And a little, like a coffee table. They wouldn't necessarily be what we would have chosen color-wise, because obviously you're stuck with whatever is on the floor or what they have, so color schemes and so on and so forth. But I think now that it's in the house, I'm looking at it behind the camera, I like it. For us, couches and chairs are sticky because I'm short. I'm only 5, on a good day, maybe 5'3". I've probably shrunk as I've gotten older, so it's probably not even that tall. And Mo's a little taller than me, but you know, he's maybe 5'9". I don't know exactly. So we're not exactly giants of people. And couches have been all my life an issue. Either if you sit back with the cushions, first off, you sink, so you're uncomfortable. My back doesn't like that. Plus, then I'm like a little kid with the feet swinging. I can't touch my feet on the floor. So I swear we sat in every single couch and chair in this place. We were there for a few hours because I wanted to find something that was comfortable. And we did find a couch that is not super high, so my feet can touch the floor, and it's not super deep. I think I might still end up, we have to get some throw pillows. I might end up putting a throw pillow at my back when I'm sitting there or whatever at some point when I have it. But it's actually fairly comfortable. And the 2 chairs, they are also, you sink a little bit, your butt sinks a little bit when you get into it, but it's not super deep and it's comfortable when you get in it, and my feet can still touch the floor. So super excited to find not only furniture that kind of goes color-wise, but I actually will be comfortable in, because the stuff, we have furniture in Connecticut and I don't even like sitting on the couches. We have a couch and a love seat. Because they are so uncomfortable for me, I have to put literally 3 throw pillows in the back because it's so deep in order to sit without being completely uncomfortable. And we're all, Megan's short, Connor's the tallest one. My mom is short, everybody's short. So then everybody's got pillows stuck behind their backs. So super excited. So now we have a little bit of furniture. I don't have anything decorative yet, and the accent pieces and everything, but that's okay. That's okay. We have places to sit now in a couple different rooms in the house, which is really great. So super excited. Find stuff, have it delivered 2 days later, and they were really great. I call them kids, they're young guys. They were really careful with everything and so on and so forth. So that was great. You know, they really took great care with everything. So that was nice. So we have a little bit of furniture. We went to the beach this morning. I showed a picture on my Instagram story. It was quite busy at 7 a.m. I have to say, there were a lot of people out, but it was just so nice. Like I said, we were about 10 minutes from the beach, especially at that hour. In the middle of the day, there's one main Route 1 in Delaware that gets very congested. So it would probably take us longer, but we're not 12 o'clock in the afternoon beach people. We are 6 a.m. morning sunrise or 6 p.m. morning sunset or beach people. So we'll always be at the beginning or end of a day, and that's when I love being there. So it was just wonderful. We might go again tomorrow morning, just relaxing, listening to the ocean, and the sun was out. It was beautiful. I brought a windbreaker, didn't need it. Temperature was lovely. So that was such a great way to start the day, and I cannot wait until at any given time I can do that. I can start my day at the beach if I want. So it's coming. It's not there yet, but it's coming. So super great week. Mo has today off from work actually, so I have no idea what we're doing. I said go with Shamrock and go somewhere so that I can film, and then we'll see. I don't know what our plans are, and just relax if nothing else. yeah, so that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me. I was so happy to talk with you each week. I really look forward to taping these. And I had said to Mo, I don't care if you have Friday off. I'm still doing my Flosstube because I love talking to my Flosstube friends. So you are just a part of my life now, my weekly life. So unless for some reason I can't tape, I hope to over the summer just continue taping on Fridays. Or maybe it would have to be if we were going somewhere on a Friday, maybe I'd do it on a different day, but I'd let you know ahead of time. Anyway, that's about it. I hope you are well. I hope everything is going well wherever you happen to be, and maybe getting some stitching time in. If not, taking care of yourself and relaxing in any way you can, and a little bit of self-care, because that's always super important. And if that means stitching, well then so be it, let's stitch. But until next time, happy stitching.